Hello everyone, this is Al Spectrum. Welcome back to the Land of Empires. I woke up a little early, so I missed the beginning of this battle, but right now the battle is underway in full force between what looks to be Legends Game and NXS. I'm not too sure whether War is also participating, but this looks to be right now a full-blown how many way fight? A full-blown three-way fight. Actually, Legends and NXS are completely participating. Game is also participating to some extent. I think they were the first to actually move into the battlefield, but right now it's fully a three-way duel between Game, NXS, and Legends. I'm not too sure whether NXS is actually starting to participate yet. As we can see, the HP is not too close to being burned down to the very bottom. We have about 40% HP left. And I'm very sure that NXS will be very busy fighting momentarily, but right now we can see that NXS is really not doing much. It's all between Legends and Game. Well, hopefully NXS will come in later, but if if this, I mean, if Legends wants to do it out with Game right now, it's probably gonna end up being wash for NXS unless Young and Joe has something to say about it. But I don't think Young and Joe Zero, them two alone can really change the tide. I mean, defend against the full force of NXS. That's just basically impossible. But right now, nobody's really able to take control of it. Both sides are kind of changing marches, and yeah, I think this will end up in an NXS win unless they don't plan to take it. I don't want to call it too early, but right now it's fully a battle between Legend and Server 155 game. So let's take a look at the merits once again. So game has almost surpassed the old record. The old record is at 152 million. I mean 152 billion. I'm very excited to see this happen. It is really a historical moment for the Land of Empires. I think the old record hasn't been broken for over 5-6 months now, and I'm glad to be here to be able to capture this pretty epic moment. And I'm very glad that these marches are not actually invisible because this looks pretty epic on screen, something that we haven't seen since probably the very beginning of the Battle of Disorder, where these alliances, these friendly matches, they didn't exist back then. So we had like multiple alliances all sitting across the center, and they just threw everything at it. And we'll see if this is gonna be true for this battle disorder. Unfortunately, I still don't see NXS participating, which means that they will probably be the final winner if they do decide to take the center. And Game has broken the previous record, and I think we kind of help them push towards that because we have been pressuring them since the center opened. We basically kind of wanted to maybe take War's spot, go in from the right, but I do think that Game consistently blocked us, and they did a great job at it. So now it is how many marches? 141 marches. So Legends will have to once again um, add in more pressure, but I'm not too sure if they can after having quite a brutal clash against NXS for the past 3 days or so. I wouldn't really call it a brutal clash because our clash was much, much harder. But they have been fighting against NXS in this area, but otherwise the center was kind of similar to a no attack agreement because we did not really see NXS, Legends, or Game attack each other at all for the past 3 days in the actual center. But here we can see again that Legends from the north is still attacking to some extent, although I don't see many additional marchers coming through. Like personally, I'm going to be rather disappointed if NXS doesn't participate, but I think they will. I don't think there's any point of them not to participate, but we will see. We'll have a better picture of that as the HP goes down to like closer to 30,000. Because if NXS does decide to attack, they will have to do it quickly. If game sends a lot of top marches, for example, it won't be that easy to really burn through that in time before the remaining 20 or 30,000 HP runs dry. But here we can see that game is really trying to capture the center in full force, and I really do appreciate that. Sometimes when we have like a 3 or even 4-way face-off, none of these alliances really want to take that first step, and I can really respect game for doing that. Or maybe we'll see. We'll see how long that respect goes for. So we can actually see Legends. I'm not too sure if this is the entirety of Legends or just Zhou and Young. If they manage to break the current defense, we'll see who exactly is attacking. But if Zhou and Young decide to participate, I think that it's going to be rather difficult for game to hold, because these two players are very, very fresh right now. They can deal a lot of damage to the defending 227 armies. But we'll know for sure who is sending the troops once we take a look at the Revelry of Fire, which is the current point ranks. It does look like Joe is starting to send troops if he hasn't been already. NXS, we can see they sent some earlier, but they have stopped for now. So right now, it went from Legends versus game to War versus game. We'll see how this ends up. I think War has a lot of potential here, because although they are not a very active alliance, their greater strength is to act at a central location. So if you allow them to all be on at the same time, they have some very strong players, as once again we have Zhou and Young, who are both very old and maxed players. We have General, we have Seth, we have Attila, just a lot of very powerful, like few but very powerful players from War. So we can see that this really shows that they are very much maxed on energy. They are launching marches with absolutely random abilities. These are, I would say, new players, because there's absolutely no point of using the skill 1 when you haven't broken the enemy defense yet. So game's defense is actually increasing, which is very impressive. NXS will have to act very soon if they want to have any chance of breaking this defense. But I still do think it is possible, and I still think that many players are waiting for that chance. We will definitely see more action happening, and more action is already happening as the HP goes below 35,000 or 144,000. We can see the defense being kicked out. This looks to be a very strong march, probably from Young or Joe or from the NXS side, but there are a lot of marches being kicked out right now, and we don't see, or these marches might have become invisible, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. There might be a lot of marches coming in, but they're invisible, so we can only see the outcoming marches, and there's definitely a lot of them. There's only 128 left now, and there's definitely not enough to burn through the remaining of this HP. Attacks are being launched from all three sides, or mostly from War and NXS. It does look like NXS is interested in grabbing the monument in the end, and it might end up being a fight between War and NXS, because I do think Legend is, I mean not Legend, I do think that game is somewhat exhausted at this point. We see more marches being kicked out, only 100 left. HP wise, we only have 220,000 left. It is so close, only 18,000 left. So close, yet so far we have 83 marches remaining. Keep in mind, these marches burn in 5-minute intervals, so while we saw the HP reducing dramatically just a moment ago, it has stopped, and it probably would be stuck there until the next 5 minutes. So I don't think game has really the energy nor the troops left to hold out for another 5 minutes when marches are coming from the left and the right. We'll take a look momentarily once this defense is broken to see who holds the merit records right now. But I do believe that although no solo merits will be broken today, one, possibly two alliances or even more will be able to break the alliance merit record, which is equally as or even more as impressive, as I would say. So we are down to just 10,000 HP left, and I think both sides are getting more and more intense. And it really shows how much game wants this monument. 8,000. This is cutting really close now. We have 61 marches left in there. 6,000. And I think that if you want to send anything, you got to send it right now. Or this is going to burn down in the next, we don't know how long. There's still 40, 50 marches in there. Yeah, it kind of sucks that marches turn invisible at some point because I would really like to see, rather than just the outbound marches, just how many marches are coming in. And it does appear that this is absolute chaos right now. It does appear that NXS Legends game, we don't have anyone that is currently securing the center. This has come down to absolute chaos now that game has actually been kicked out of the center. And I think it's going to be really hard for them to build a presence there again because, once again, NXS is very fresh. Their players probably maxed out on heals. They have not spent any of their valor. So this is a full-blown three-way clash. Do I see war? I just see Game Legends, Game NXS, Game Legends, Killer Bunny Legends, NXS Legends, Game. So I don't believe there is one player from War, so they are sending troops, but this belongs to nobody right now, and it's going to be very interesting to see how this turns out. I think this is we have gone back to the very early days of the Battle Disorder with this, and I'm excited and really happy to see this turn out the way it is. Right now, I do still think that it is heavily favored towards NXS, although they cut it very, very close. They cut it so close with just like maybe, I don't know, I can't even see the bar, like 2,000 or yeah, just a couple thousand HP left. That is just 10, 15 marches. If game could have sent a few additional marches back then, or if they could have held a little longer, this might have turned out differently already. But right now, there are not a single march from any alliance stacked up in there. It is still very chaotic. This is like a popcorn party right now. Grab your popcorns, everyone. This is we're gonna have enough for everyone here. These marches, there's so many freaking marches. Keep in mind that each one of these marches, unless they're burner marches, if you send over 40,000, 400,000 troops, you're gonna lose like 10% of them. You're gonna lose 40,000 each and every time, and the merits are going to stack up really quickly because this is a very short distance and all of these alliances are sending the matchups. You can see NXS, well, they're not even close to surpassing us. I was about to say NXS is about to surpass us, but they're not even close. You got to try harder. They're not getting anywhere near 150,000 unless they send everything they have. Maybe they'll have a chance, but game is already at 164 billion. What a record being made. Can they hit like 175? That would be so impressive. And I'm actually very surprised that game still has the energy to send these marches because we have been pressuring very hard from the back. And this is still ongoing. Wow. Let's see if anything's going on from the chat. Kill, kill, kill. This is one of the best fights indeed. NMR is also watching from the sidelines like we are. Unfortunately, only 4 participants can participate in the center. Otherwise, we will be in the action too. I still have like a lot of heals. I was talking to Will earlier. I was telling him I couldn't spend my heals. I spent like 28,000 heals. I mean, not 28,000. I spent like close to 20,000 heals this Battle Disorder. I still have 13,000 left. As people have been complaining, resources are definitely hurting even from my end. I started with like 62 billion wood, 63 billion food. So I lost like 25 billion of each resources. My stone reserves are running low. I'll probably have to restock that. But yeah, I'm kind of casting because I'm sure all these players would be busy sending marches. I'm sure that NXS was sweating just a few moments ago. Legends, I'm not sure. I'm sure they want the center, but I'm not too sure what their expectations are, how they see their own chances to be, like how high their own chances are. War is probably just there for the fun. There's still 36 marches stacked on top of Joe's 0. And this center fight is still ongoing. I remember when BBB clashed against NXS in their Area 1 gate. That battle lasted about close to an hour, even though every single person was sending everything they had until both sides were close to being zeroed. Like that battle in a 1v1 was close to an hour. So it's really going to be interesting to see how long this battle takes. It hasn't been that long actually. I think I've only casted for about 15 minutes so far, and it feels that I casted for about 30 minutes or even more than that because so much action has happened already. So much action. This is probably the most action. No, no, this is the most action I've ever seen in Battle Disorder Center Clash by a wide margin. Let's see who is currently trying to hold the center. We have once again a splattering of names, but I do see Legends for the most part here. NXS, it just changed hands again as I said that. We have NXS, Legends, War, Game. Everyone is still fighting for the center. Let's take another look at the overall merits, 467 billion, as well as the player merit. Let's see who is contributing the most. Actually, Killer Bunny is. Johnson from 155 here is as expected at 3.2 billion because he is the first and foremost frontier player who needs to who needs to defend his own alliance's marches. So he is the one with the top march, he is the one with the most resources, but he cannot stand up against the full onslaught of 3 top alliances. So this is still ongoing. I have no words. This is the most intense clash in the Battle Disorder history. I had like a couple additional analysis in terms of preferred comps, best comps that players are using in Season 11, and interesting counters to talk about in this video, but this action is too exciting. I don't think I'll move away from this screen. If I could hide my user menu, I would totally do that right now. But yeah, I'm glad I woke up. I don't usually wake up at this hour. I don't usually play at the new reset time per se for the Battle Disorder, but I think this is too historical of a moment to miss, and it's still ongoing. I think my voice will be dry if I scream this much over the next 10-15 minutes. But yeah, all sides are still sending their marchers. There is no clear winner yet. Legend is definitely trying to build up a defense, but I don't think they will be successful. We can see Killer Bunny squeezing in here, and he is probably very good at it because he is most definitely maxed. I've been watching this player for a pretty long time now, and he just grew so fast from when he first started playing. And yeah, he's one of the top players in the game now. I think I'm just going to leave this action here for everyone to witness. And I will be uploading this to YouTube probably, right after this video. Because I don't think any editing needs to be made here. This is an epic battle. First that we have witnessed with 4 alliances participating. I don't think there has ever been any Battle Disorder with like more than 3 alliances clashing at the same time. Actually, there probably is or has been in the early servers. But the reason why it's so difficult because whenever there is like a stronger force or an imbalance in a force, then what people will do is try to push each other out before the center actually opens. And once the center area opens, you have 3 entire days to do that. So it's actually very difficult to have a scenario where it's so balanced that all 4 alliances are able to sit in opposite corners of this their center shrine. And I guess part of the reason why this was made possible was because we were putting on so much pressure that if they decided to go against each other, that would actually throw off the balance, and we might not end up having that scenario. So I think it was good for us to, be pressuring Game from the backside, and equally impressive to see Game have so much remaining energy here to contest for the center. Although I think it is a very difficult uphill climb for them once again. And I'm kind of surprised that Legend is the one currently burning the center. I would very much think that NXS would have that privilege. So yeah, I would love to see these marches because they are all invisible right now. Now, one thing to keep in mind, this battle has been raging for a while since the defenders have been kicked out. Although we see that the center shrine only has 6,000 HP left, it might actually have closer to 10,000. So the burners will have to keep in mind every couple minutes. I forgot how many minutes, but there's probably information on this somewhere. Um, is it here? I'm not too sure, but every few minutes or so, the HP regions, and if your burn speed is too slow, like what is usually the case when there's a when the burners are being exchanged from one alliance to the other, the HP will slowly start to go up. And although you might expect like the number of marches you put into here is enough to burn down the current HP, it might not actually be enough to burn down the HP that has regen. Gonna drink some coffee here. I actually do have some popcorn, but those are kind of old. I made them last week. I won't be eating those for this battle, but it is definitely deserving of popcorn. If you have popcorn, if you have beer, I guess the battle has already happened already. This is not a live stream, unfortunately. I kind of wish I live streamed this now. This is definitely an event deserving of a live stream. I'm sure many people are very interested in watching these battles. Unlike the Holy Mountain battle, you cannot just make a farm account and watch this battle from the sidelines because this is only available for people who are actually in these alliances, and these top alliances simply have no room for random farm or random spy accounts, although funny as they may be. But Legend seems to have gotten a foothold, which is really, really surprising. I expected more push from NXS. Maybe not all their players are online, but Legend is really getting a foothold if they can burn down the remaining HP. This is going to be a surprising underdog winner in this battle disorder. Let's take a look once again at the merits. Killer Bunny was 3.8 billion. Well, lower than I expected, honestly. Game at 173 billion. So I do think that they're going to be able to set the record today of over 175 billion, or even better, if they are able to manage over 180 billion, then that is going to be a prettier number. We still think March is getting kicked out. At least we can see like which marches are going back. A majority are, well, it's kind of all from three sides, but it's definitely fewer marches being sent compared to before. So this is kind of on a clock now. If they don't manage to kick Legends out within the next 2 to 3 minutes, I think I've been commentating already for maybe 3 minutes since game secured their foothold, then the remaining HP is going to be in danger to be very quickly shaved down by one set of attacks. So all three sides, I'm not sure whether War is really interested, but they have to really, they're on a timer now, and they'll have to act fast if they do not want Legends to take the center. And as of right now, the main players are no longer really sending anything. Like these players, they are still in top form. I can tell you that. They are not damaged at all. And is NXS going to allow Legends to take it here? Because this is 120 defenders, and it is not easy to take care of those. Like Legends is very far away from the center shrine, which is why I'm very surprised that they were able to do so well and secure a foothold. Because whenever you are reinforcing, like what is happening now, your enemies can just send top marches once again. Like Johnson, he can spam the top march, and you're gonna be in trouble. So Legends being kicked out, and game. Oh my god, I cannot see just who these marches are returning to. And it appears that it's mostly being a push from game right now. NXS is in there again. Okay, so it is a chaotic fight once again, but the HP has been lowered down to 3,400. I'm not too sure what the how much regen happened. We'll probably see in the playback, but this is closer than ever now, and I think all bets are off, all gloves are off. You gotta just throw everything you have at it because this final bit of HP, anyone can take it. Anyone who secures a foothold for maybe 5 minutes, 20 seconds, you have it. Uh, you pretty much have it in the bag. So right now it's NXS. I think NXS. This might be their best chance. Try to secure a foothold against do a 1v3 against three potentially exhausted alliances, and see if you're good enough for it. I think if the NXS was at the south location, they will have a very easy time at it. But because they have to send their march from somewhat of a distance away, I think game could still do something about it if they were to desire. I mean, if that is what they desire, and we do see that happening to some degree. Marches are being sent back from all directions, and my voice is kind of dead. Yeah, I've only been casting for like 30 minutes, but this has been so exciting that I don't know. We can see marches. People are starting to spam Michael, which is the 547 team now. This tells me that people are starting to run out of energy. We see much fewer marches from Neptune Arc, the Season 7 hero with the armament, which is currently one of the most powerful and reliable teams right now. I'm talking specifically 7 with the Season 4 armor and then Season 11 Cavalry armor. I mean, no, not the Cavalry armor. You have 7, 4, 11, 8. So that is currently the most popular team. Although that can be somewhat countered by a strong Season 6 team, or as some people are enjoying using, the Season 4 armor on the infantry, and then the Season 8 or 9 cavalry on the cavalry, and then the Season 10 archer on the archer slot. So people are using that to counter the best team that people are running right now, which is the Neptune Arc team, although I have had some difficulty with that. For some reason, I do think that you need very good troop tiers in order to make that work. You need like full tier 13.3. Otherwise, your supposed counter team just bounces off the Neptune Arc team. So nobody has been able to secure a foothold the past few minutes. Ever since Legends got kicked out, it has come down to a full chaotic battle once again. Uh, yeah, I think the cycle kind of repeats again and again. You have everyone trying to secure a foothold, and once alliance does, these alliances just kind of stop and wait for the opponents to try to kick them out until the alliance that is in there is about to win, and then everyone goes crazy and everyone tries to kick everyone out. So right now, uh, yeah, I'm just gonna leave it play out. Have another drink of coffee, and just watch. Yeah, I have like a cross shape, like Jesus Christ is going to like return from the grave. That's crazy. We're gonna look at the mirrors again. Killer Bunny with the top mirrors. I think Johnson is kind of out of juice already. Daddy Split, a very impressive performance from him. I'm actually falling down the ladder. Daddy Split has surpassed me, and he might actually take rank 1 if he continues. Unfortunately, a personal merit won't be set today because the highest merit is either Young, I think either Joe Zero or Batty, or Harris, sorry. Joe Zero has a confirmed merit record of a little over 20 billion, while Harris has, I believe, an unconfirmed merit record of 26 billion. If someone has that, please put that in Discord because that would be that would be a big lead over 20.2 billion from Joe Zero. But yeah, today we are setting an exciting alliance record that is still going up. It might go up to 200 billion. Like I always say that these alliance records will be very difficult to break, but today one was broken and this one might stand for a long time because a lot of these alliances they have been bottled up. As JFK said, why are we not fighting? What is up with these bromances? They are so disgusting. And today we are letting all of that out, all of that frustration, all of that pent up energy. Um, Legends and NXS they clashed up to 80 billion prior to the center fight. We and Game we clashed up to like 130 billion prior to the center fight. So this is really impressive. Really an impressive performance from Game, and it is very much an expensive performance because once your Valor fills up and you're still sending troops, they die very quickly. And although you can recover 90% of them, you still lose about 10 to 16% depending on how well you collect from from your Valor right here. If you collect poorly, then your loss is nearly double compared to if you collected everything well. And in a chaotic battle like this, there is really no good way to collect well. We can see had you had like 6 marches in here, all of them would have been kicked out instantly, and there's simply no way to collect fast enough because these these attacks are almost instantaneous. Therefore, if something shows up in a Valor and you click on it, your next march who is getting killed, their troops won't actually go in there. So even though you're spamming trying to collect those troops, you will only be able to collect from one, maybe two marches at best out of 6. Each time I'm clicking on this, it's just a different alliance. So Legends is trying to set up a foothold once again, but I don't really see any strong players in there besides JFK, and they've been kicked out right away as expected. Like you, at this point, you really need to stack a lot of very strong players, top players, top marches, not necessarily with skill 3, but at least being present in there. Like yeah, you have to send a bunch of season 6 marches or something. You like these top players will never run out of season 6. So I expect to see more and more season 6 marches, and there are some very good teams against season 6. I will show it after a winner is announced. But actually, over the course of this battle disorder, people have been testing with some compositions, and some interesting compositions and counters have been discovered. But yeah, season 6 is still very, very powerful in the context of season 11. And but I think that the meta is quite good. I think oh well, I think the issue with season 11 is that the infantry hero kind of sucks. Like if you are using the infantry hero without any armor, that's literally a detriment to your team. If I see that hero being used, I can literally use a mirror and almost any infantry hero I will win against you because the season 11 infantry hero just doesn't seem to have any self-preservation ability. And the archer hero, I think it's slightly better than the infantry hero, but it's also kind of funny. It's just so bad at being able to deal damage. I blame that on its broken skill because your recharge speed doesn't even go above 50%, and the fact that its ultimate skill awake like an animation is like 5 seconds. That just doesn't make sense. Like you're an archer, you want to shoot quickly. You don't want to charge for like 5 minutes and then deal no damage. NXS is going all out now, so it's going to be a 1v3 against these 3 alliances. Um, let's hope. Let's see if they are able to kick them out. And I think these alliances should know that NXS is trying to secure a final foothold, and they should be sending everything to prevent that from happening. I think one thing that would be interesting is if, for example, two bromance alliances or friendly alliances were to exchange the privilege of attacking the center. So, for example, if we were already here, for example, if we were taking this from war, and then we were exchanging our players, although there's always the danger, of course, that the other 3 alliances would not let you get a foothold. But in this scenario, we can already see that these alliances are completely exhausted. So if a fresh top alliance can secure a foothold, then they might actually just pull out a 1v3 right there. But that is a very unlikely scenario. Let's take a look at the merits. They have hit 180 billion, and that makes me very happy. 22 marches, 24 marches. Although this doesn't seem like a lot, unless they can reduce this to like below 20 at some point, the timer is still going down. I think 20 marches or 19 marches is more than enough to shave off the remaining of the HP, especially if they are using skill 4, I think. Or skill 2, sorry. Skill 4, I believe, is the top march skill. So 19, 21, the bottom 18 marches now. So the bottom 18 marches are still in the process of burning this down. And I forgot when they actually entered, but probably in the same scenario as Legends, the other three alliances will have about 2 minutes left to kick them out. So in there are Killer Bunny, I see Baron. So these are some very strong marches that are currently in there. We have Zay, we have Chaos, we have Wonski, we have Mama, we have... Wait, what? Who's this? Anyways, we have Killer Bunny, Iris, XLS. Yeah. They are currently in the process of winning, I would say. There's about... Actually, maybe not winning. Did I speak too soon? Still 19, still 20 marches. The core burners have not gone down. Now we're down to 17. 21. 17 is still enough. 17 is definitely still enough. They really need to reduce that number down to like maybe 12 in order to make sure that it's impossible for NXS to burn this down in one cycle. 33. NXS is really trying to defend this now. 32. Okay, so the HP is going down. The timer has dropped to where the burners can start burning down. We will find out in the next 1 to 2 minutes whether NXS actually had enough at the bottom there. 43. So NXS is sending absolutely everything. They are confident and they are coming in full force. But the other alliances are still desperately trying to defend against NXS. And... okay. Nightmare, get out of here. I was like, what? That didn't look like a victory. But it does look like a victory is coming in the next... yeah. Okay, the HP is dropping again. I do see a few marches coming from the right, and yeah, they have 55 marches now. I think this might be too late. $53, $55, $57. The number is just going up. I do think this is very much over. $62, $61. I think I'm just going to let this play out because, yeah, I think it's too late for the other alliances. I see a couple marches coming from the north. A couple marches being kicked out, but the core force of NXS is still in there. More marches are being kicked out, but it doesn't really matter unless you can get down to like the bottom 10 or so. There's only 1,300 HP left. Like every single one of these powerful marches are just taking out so many defenders. It's really impressive. So who is left in here? We have Battery High, We have Lion, we have Zay trying to hold the final line. 40 marches left. Wow. I think all four sides are trying to get this to a conclusion. The battle has been raging for the better part of 40 to 45 minutes now. The start of this battle has not been very eventful, which is why I wasn't recording. But basically, it was kind of like a stare down for the first maybe 10-15 minutes, and then Game came in trying to burn through the first big chunk of HP, and then it is what you see. NXS is still sitting on top, a healthy number of marches. I want to check the mirrors again, but I know that this can end at any moment. So unless NXS is somehow kicked out from here, I'm going to watch this until it is captured. $35. 30. 22. This isn't enough. You gotta pressure harder. Otherwise, NXS is going to win in like maybe 10 seconds. And congratulations to NXS, the winner of this epic and historical battle disorder. I think all four sides, all alliances have put forth their best effort in this battle. We have the final merits here. Crimson Knight at 15 million. Daddy Split coming in hot from number 2 at 14.25 million. I myself close to 14 billion. I'm sorry, not million, billions. Alliance wise, we have 182 billion from Game. We have close to our old personal record of 152. We're about 8 billion away from that. We have Nexus coming in at 133 billion, Legends at 130 billion, the highest record they have ever set. Warrior at 37 billion, probably primarily from 2 players. We have Killer Bunny holding strong at 6.5 billion in this final clash, and we can probably see in the chat a bunch of GGs. Very nicely done to all sides, as I kind of expected. NXS was the biggest winner because they do have the biggest pool of power. Compared, like if we were to compare the overall force between NXS and Game, I would say it's somewhat similar. Maybe slightly favored for Game, but I would say it is actually the top level power is probably favoring NXS. The player activity probably favoring Game, but after this battle, I think a majority of people, maybe besides NXS, will be out of heals, out of troops, and everything. And yeah, it's been a great experience. So congratulations to NXS once again. We have all the chats from all sides, and I think this is very much deserving. For all players. I think really the battle rewards, what do they mean? Maybe it matters to some players, but it certainly does not matter to all of the relevant players involved in this historic fight. It is really about epic clashes, and really I think this is why people like the battle disorder and what was kind of lost after the first few months or even half a year of its release. I think we haven't had a clash as epic as this for a long time now, and this matchmaking kind of made it possible. And yeah, overall, I think it was very, very exciting. I don't have much else to say about it, but before wrapping up the video, I just want to go over, I guess, some battles Interestingly, this is a not this one. Yeah. So actually, yeah, this is a interesting counter against this composition that I'm running. I'm running this composition primarily to counter this. Not this one. Yeah, primarily to counter this team. This team is very good against the Neptune Arc team with the Season 8 Archer and Season 11 Cavalry. And I have to use this team to counter the team that Johnson is running because this team is actually very, very good against Season 6. I'm not too sure if I saved a screenshot here, but yeah, we can see it here. So Dutch HEM, he and I are similarly powered, I would say. Yeah, roughly similarly powered. I think I'm slightly stronger compared to him. Let's take a look at unit value. Yeah, I would say I'm stronger compared to him, but I lost so brutally, running the best season six, well, one of the best season six armament team. So, yeah, this is probably a hard counter against season six armament. And I've watched the replay, and it seems that the season 10 archer is able to instantly kill the season 6 cavalry with his rage skill. That is rather impressive. So, let me see. I don't know. I don't know what that is. But yeah, new compositions are being discovered every day, and yeah, we'll have to see how the upcoming non-battle disorder battles play out, how rallies play out, and hopefully we'll get a fix from the season 11 infantry and archer heroes. I hope everyone enjoyed this video, and I'll see everyone in the next video. Congratulations once again to NXS, and congratulations to all players involved for their best effort in this battle disorder. But we can probably consider this a wrap. This has been one of the most epic battle disorders since a very long time, and I'll look forward to seeing everyone in my next video. Take care.